So, going with that, what is one tiny habit that changed your wellness more than any diet ever could?
There are so many. Um,
2, 1. It's your boy, SoSo Juve. We in the building. And welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce the cast of characters to my that way. I got the logical genius.
I wasn't expecting that. We're a little out of order, but there's a reason why for that. What's up, people? How's it going?
Yes, there is a reason why we're out of order, and it's really, there could be a valid reason, but I really know this is the reason. HLS has been tired of being in third place. So he just said, you know what? The only way that I could not be in third place is for me not to just show up. So we had to call in a sub. And this substitute is, a special friend to the show. And we are so excited to have her back in this capacity as a co-host. So we welcome from Big Lash Energy, Jayna Marie. Welcome.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. I know that HLS has a reputation for being third, and so I came ready to throw hands today. I need to do better than third for sure.
That reputation made it up to Canada.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm recording from Mexico right now. I'm taking my family to Mexico to do this with you. Yeah.
Jayna, all we have to say to you is that you have very small shoes to fill. Very small. Poquito. As they say in Spanish, poquito. Okay? That's it.
Small.
And our topic for this week is we're going to discuss the 5 unhealthiest holiday foods. And the person that we have with us to help us with that topic has been described as a force of nature in the wellness space. Her recognition includes Podcast Magazine's 40 Under 40 nomination for 2022 International Women's Podcast Award for Visionary Leadership. In 2024 and 2025, Earworthy Best Independent Podcast. Plus, the winner of the 2025 Best Health Podcast. She is a health and lifestyle coach, podcaster, consultant, and now author. Our guest's debut book, Uncomplicating Wellness, offers a science-based yet practical approach to cut through the noise of the wellness industry and help readers finally trust their bodies again. She continues to make history as she is the first guest ever to come back on the My 5 Cents podcast. So we welcome back Jenn Trepeck. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I love this crew.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and we love you. Oh my goodness, Jenn. Like, we just appreciate you being part of our journey, meeting you on some of the podcast movements out there. And definitely, I think the last one I saw you at was at LA. So it's just great to not only be in touch, but to see that you are continuing to grow on your journey. So typically we ask, what is your superpower? But since you've already been there and done that, we want to know, what is your kryptonite and how have you gotten over that barrier?
Ooh, good question. I don't know if it's kryptonite as we usually think of it, but I might have to go with foods that I'll never give up. Right? No matter how much I learn, right? So maybe that's the kryptonite. Cookie dough and French fries.
Cookie dough and French fries. I love that.
I almost titled my podcast French fries and cookie dough. But we went with salad with a side of fries instead. But
Yes.
Salad with a side of fries is a little bit more clever, but yeah.
Well, salad with a side of fries is a little clearer on what you're going to get. When you listen, French fries and cookie dough, people would have no idea. They'd probably listen and then be very disappointed.
I doubt that. So let's talk about it. Uncomplicating Wellness. How did this project come to fruition?
So it is to some degree based on the podcast, more in terms of taking everything from my lifetime of existing in this world and diet culture and all of that stuff, all the messages coming at us, the last 18 years of working as a health coach and a lifestyle coach, and then the last 6 years in, the podcast, to say, truthfully, we don't need more information. We need a new lens through which we can evaluate all of the information coming at us. And so this book, Uncomplicating Wellness, is that lens. It's not a how-to. It's not a plan. Some people might read it and then find their plan or figure out the thing that they want to focus on. But it's really designed to help us come back to ourselves in a way. And I know that sounds sort of like woo-woo and, elusive, but really to start remembering that, like, we know ourselves and our bodies better than anybody else. And to trust that more than every influencer on the internet.
That's your book, and thank you for getting us an advanced copy so we can
Yeah.
read it. But you break down a lot of like components in your book, right? You talk about the mental part of it, right? The how an individual can handle something or wellness. You talked about the commercial side of things and how that's become like a thing, right?
Yep.
And then you talk about the scientific part of it, right? Like what actually works and what doesn't work. Can you explain more about what you mean when you say about, I think this is cool, you have, you're not the problem, it's the system? Is that like towards the industry, right? Which I think, I had to look it up, but I think Bloomberg reported that it's like a $6 trillion a year industry, which is kind of crazy if that number is right. And then it's supposed to project and balloon up to like 11 trillion in 10 years, which is higher than pharmaceuticals, like that's projected, which is a crazy number because there's big money in wellness, right? You see it on your Instagram feeds and YouTube and Facebook and all of that.
Yeah, and I think those are probably global numbers versus like
Mhm.
just the US. And then,
Yeah.
you also have the diet industry and you have the
Mhm.
supplement industry and you have, right, like all different pieces and all of that. And then there's, health tech that's even a separate piece
Mhm.
of that. And when I say you're not broken, it's the system, it's not even any one system.
Yeah.
It's all of these pieces, right? I mean, especially in the US, our healthcare is not actually healthcare, it is sick care.
Yeah.
Our doctors are not taught wellness or health or lifestyle. They are taught disease management and
Mhm.
pharmaceuticals. The diet industry, and I think sometimes when you read it or hear it out of context, it sounds very cynical or angry. And that's not the way I mean it at all. It's just the reality. And if we aren't clear that all of these people, and frankly, myself included, right? Like, I'm a health coach, I work with supplements in my practice. People have something to sell. And I don't think that's inherently the problem. It's where the incentives are. So when we look at the bigger landscape of the diet industry, they are incentivized to get you fast results so that you stay, right? You keep
Mhm.
doing whatever that thing is, keep buying
Yeah.
the thing that they're selling you. If those results didn't come quickly, what would you do? You would stop buying the thing.
Mhm.
So fast results, right? I always say for every gimme, there's a gotcha, as I learned from one of my mentors. So fast results means great, the number on the scale might go down. I might be seeing a difference, but is the outcome long-term health? Maybe not. Because their goal isn't necessarily your goal. And by that token, maybe we don't even realize that our goal is long-term health because in our 20s, we're like, okay, I want to wear that shirt. I want to feel like this on the beach. And so sometimes we don't necessarily take that longer term perspective. And so it's just recognizing that even from the influencer that you're seeing on social media, their objective might not be yours. So them saying that they did this thing and it quote unquote worked. Well, what does worked even mean? And what ends up happening is that when we try all of these things, when we follow all the plans or whatever it is, and then maybe it works in air quotes for a little while and then it stops, or maybe we gain weight back or whatever it is, we think we failed. But the reality is, and what I see over and over and over, is that the plan that we were following is what failed because it wasn't designed to be followed ad infinitum. It wasn't designed for long-term health, but we think it is. So we're not broken. All the systems around us are broken, but because they need us to keep buying, it actually serves their end game for us to feel like we're broken and they have the solution.
Interesting. I have a quick
agree.
follow-up to that.
Agree.
Sorry. Because you talk about that in your book. You talk about how like it's not a one size fit all. Right? You have all of these health and wellness programs and diets and all that, and what may work for this person may not work for you. Like you said, maybe it doesn't work. It doesn't. It's the wrong diet or whatever program that you're on. But then you just mentioned that we're in a culture now over the last decade, if not more, of instant gratification, right? Instant results. How do you break that, right? Because that's what sells, right? They're selling to your need to, oh, I'm going on vacation next week. I gotta lose some weight because I need a bikini body, right? For men and women, right? It's not just women, right? Or a couple like I had a couple weeks ago was Halloween. You know, I had this 1920s theme, and I had this suit that I wanted to wear. It just I'm not an overweight guy, but it didn't buckle the way it used to buckle from years past. I've been working from home, so I don't need to wear a suit anymore, right? So how do people manage that? Because part of it is managing. You said you have to understand yourself, like who you are, understand your body. How do you if you're not taught that from early stages, right? Good food, health, when most of us aren't, because it's like I see my nieces now, fast food, chicken nuggets, fries. That's all they eat. How do you rectify that? How do you look at yourself and say, this isn't going to work. Like I can't use a quick fix. It's not going to work for me. Like in most cases, people require to be in a health crisis and then they have to act as opposed to making it and being proactive about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, it is that crisis. For some people, that crisis comes with the scale, and maybe it's earlier on. For some people, it comes with, maybe it's a wake-up call from their parents as, their parents are getting older. Unfortunately, it really is a function of each of us individually deciding that we've hit our limit. And even in the beginning of the book, one of the chapters is WTF is wellness anyway, right? Like we all use this word, but like, have any of us ever paused to been like, wait, what does that even mean? What does that look like? And so I believe, in the mission of everything I do with my podcast, this book, my business, everything I do is to change the state of healthcare, to empower people to reclaim their own health. And that's exactly what you're talking about. It really requires each of us to realize that our health is up to us, not our doctors, not the government, not our food supply, not the food manufacturers. It comes down to us. And the seemingly small choices every day are actually the big ones. And that's the biggest piece. And I hope that's something people take away from this book is that, sure, we can do something short term before that beach vacation. And we get to the vacation, maybe we have a cocktail and boom, it's all out the window. Ideally, we are building a life and lifestyle where the inevitable outcome is showing up ready for that beach vacation, having energy, whatever it is to you to feel well and have health.
Oh no, I could totally relate to the I'm like constantly doing the math to try and figure out how many months do I need to get cute for XYZ, or oh, there's this vacation. So I feel like as when we're always looking for a quick fix, and when you go into Google and you search how long will it take, and it'll always finish the sentence to lose 10 pounds or
Yeah,
like
it already knows.
Yes, the auto, yeah.
but the goal is how you're going to look in the bathing suit and not overall health. And that's what's tragic. If health was the first goal as opposed to how you look, like you will eventually look better as well. But health should be the first focus. And that's also what I'm trying to teach my daughter, because she'll start talking about calories, or I'm just not going to eat a few meals today. And I'm like, no, that's just not healthy. We're going to focus on being healthy. And that's the thing, and energy levels and all those other ways of telling if you're healthy or not. So,
Yeah. How old's your daughter?
she is 18.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she'll have friends who are like, oh, my friend stopped eating for 3 days and now her stomach's flat. Like, oh my God. So, but I mean, I was there too, right? Like I grew up, I'm 42. I grew up through all the weight loss
Same.
shows, Tyra Banks calling girls who are 120 pounds fat. Like I sat through all of that. So, I definitely have a good idea of what she's facing. And I just don't want her to struggle with that at all. I just want her to love herself. So,
Exactly. Yeah. It's a lot. All the messages coming at us, everything we were taught, I'm also 42, and like I also grew up, everybody in my house at some point was like on a diet, and it was the era of, low fat, no fat, snack wells, low carb, no carb, right? Like everything under the sun, we did it in my house. And, for what it's worth, when we look at health outcomes, the more times we do that gain and lose thing, the more disease is created in the body. And so we do want to teach our kids, I have a whole like kids and family program, and that's, a tangent for another day potentially, but it really comes down to a lot of the messages that we get when we're younger and what becomes that barometer for, how we're choosing to move, how we're choosing to sleep, fuel ourselves, all of those pieces.
So going with that, what is one tiny habit that changed your wellness more than any diet ever could?
There are so many. It's the thing that I say all the time. So if you've ever listened to my podcast, and certainly the last time I was here, I'm sure I said it too. Protein and fiber at every meal. Yep. Exactly. Protein and fiber at every meal makes your moving fat no big deal. So protein is clean, lean protein. Eat what you like. Don't eat what you don't like. A proper serving of protein for a biologically female body at a meal is for everybody, it's the whole hand at a meal. So that's 4 to 6 ounces for a woman, 6 to 8 for a man, right? Whole hand for a meal. The palm is a snack. Palm, or a little less than the palm is a snack. Fiber, it's vegetables and sometimes fruit. So carbs, by the way, are vegetables, and we need those. And our body needs carbs, just quality carbs. And then really the only difference between a meal or a snack is how much we have at a time, and then therefore how long it's going to last us till we have to fuel again. And then the other thing that we need a couple times a day is quality fat. But when I learned that, I remember, so I used to work in a hedge fund, and our office, there was like a whole bunch of hedge funds on the floor of the office, and there was like the communal kitchen in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And Monday mornings, there was like free breakfast that was a platter, like it was, a fruit salad, which is obviously not interesting. And then the platter of mini baked goods. So like mini scones, mini muffins, mini croissants, like
Danishes, all that
exactly,
stuff. Yep.
all the things. And I could go in there once or twice to get water and get back and be like, whew, didn't eat anything, right? Like, good for me. But inevitably, by the third time going in there, it's like the little bagel or croissant or whatever it is has a voice and it is calling my name. And I remember feeling like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I just walk in and walk out? Like, why do I have to have this debate with an inanimate object, you know? And then, ooh, sorry, I just hit the mic. There was one day I remember walking in the kitchen and I was like, good Lord, I really want one of those. And I was like, oh, I get what's happening. My blood sugar is low because I haven't eaten breakfast yet, which means that my body is craving fuel quickly, which means it's the sugar of the croissant and the bagel and all of those things. But what I really need is to go eat the breakfast that I brought with me and then decide if I still want the bagel or the croissant or whatever it was. And it was like all of a sudden, this choice went from being emotional of like, why do I suck? To intellectual of like, wait a minute, I get why that's appealing. And here's what I need to do. And then after I eat that, then if I decide that I want the bagel or the croissant, then whatever, I'll have it or not. But lo and behold, like eating what I brought, the voice from the food disappeared.
There you go.
So it's interesting because you talked about that in your book because you said that like the choice or like it's not willpower or something like that, right? It's biochemical, right? And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting angle because you always talk like wellness. It's desire, determination, like you're going to overcome this. But you're saying that there's a actual biochemical process that your body goes through that kind of forces you to do or crave certain things because it's telling you it's craving certain things, and people think, I don't have the willpower to do it, but it's not that.
Exactly. It is biochemical. So cravings are one of the ways that our body communicates with us.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, signals can get crossed because, again, we don't often understand what it's telling us. And or, the body's objective is survival, not, anything else, basically, not necessarily what we want. And so, this whole idea of the body craving the sugar, well, it needed fuel and it needs fuel quickly to the brain. Well, what is fast fuel for the brain? The sugar. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's telling me what it needs. So sometimes, right, there's a piece of that we have to learn that language and learn how to decipher, but even hunger and satiety are biochemical, right? There's a hormone that tells us when we're hungry. It's called ghrelin. There are hormones that tell us when we're satisfied called leptin. And now GLP-1 medications are all over the news. GLP is another peptide that sends signals of satiety to the brain. So it's chemical. Even willpower is chemical. It's tied to blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
It's tied to even gratitude, which is interesting. It is tied to stress. It is tied to all decision making. So willpower isn't just for this one thing. We use up that willpower anytime we have to make any kind of decision or delay gratification or plan something out or think through many steps and decide that, this is how we're going to go about something. All of those processes and thoughts use up that energy. So it's not that we don't have willpower. It's more likely that we're using it somewhere else, and then we expect to have something left for dessert, to help us not eat dessert. And it's like, of course, there's nothing left. We've used it for all of the other things.
Well, that seems like a perfect segue into our next segment of our show, where we are going to be testing the willpower of us three hosts as we get into the topic of the 5 unhealthiest holiday foods. Logical genius, please give a refresher to Jen as to what's about to happen next.
Jen, you know the drill, and Jayna, you know the drill as well. You're our two OGs, right? And it's myself, SoSo Juve, and Jayna, in replacement of HLS, are going to present you, Jen, our resident expert on unhealthy foods, our top 5 unhealthiest holiday foods. You get to decide who goes first, second, and third, and at the end of it, you get to tell us who's in third place, the last place loser. We don't care about second, and the first place winner.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to give
Yes.
Jayna the floor to kick things off.
Oh no.
Yes,
Okay.
because now you set
Yeah,
the
you got
bar,
this.
right? You're going to set the bar.
Right. Okay.
Small shoes.
Hold on, Jayna. HLS, rewatch this. Let Jayna show him how it's done.
Okay.
Please.
All right. I'm coming out swinging. First of all, this is a hilarious conversation to be having while I'm at an all-inclusive resort with a buffet that I have to try to like.
For sure.
I just did 3 laps past the dessert table and felt so proud of myself that I didn't eat them. But anyways,
Congrats.
thank you. I've been thinking a lot about the 5 unhealthiest holiday foods, and the first thing that came to mind right away was the fruit cake, because it's totally a misnomer. There is no fruit, and the fruit that's in there is basically maraschino cherries or fruit that has been soaked in sugar, candied, and soaked in alcohol as well. And it doesn't even taste good, so it's not even worth all these extra calories. The thinnest slice can be between 300 to 400 calories, so it's super calorie dense. And I don't trust anything that can last that long. I swear one of those could withstand the apocalypse. There's always the quintessential fruitcake that like you saw that someone gave your mom, and then your mom gave it to someone else, and then it just sat on a shelf for 3 years. So fruitcake, I'm gonna say number 1. Number 2, coming in at number 2, I am saying eggnog. First of all, major calories, high in saturated fat and added sugar. 1 cup of a serving is around like 400 calories, so it's basically a glass full of dessert. Now I realize that I don't think, Jen, you're not Canadian, are you?
No.
Okay, so being the Canadian in the room, I did think that I would also bring a little bit of culture to you guys. And so our second language in Canada is French. So all of our labels are actually French on one side and English on the other. And what lots of people don't know is that eggnog in French is lait de poulet, which means milk from the chicken. So as soon as I learned that eggnog was called chicken milk, you gotta believe I've never been the first one in line when Starbucks releases the chicken milk latte. So it's a whole cup full of sugar. It's called chicken milk, and yeah, it's just a hard pass for me. Number 3, I'm coming in with Chex Mix. I don't know if you guys had family members that made this during the holidays, but my grandma always made this. You basically put all the unhealthiest cereals together, which are already carb loaded and sugar loaded. Then you add a whole bunch of butter and Worcestershire sauce. And then the worst part is it's just sitting on your kitchen counter for you to eat mindlessly or stress eat while your family, your parents are beaking off at each other and you're just sitting there shoveling in your face because you're stressed out. Because honestly, the most unhealthy thing is the thing that you're eating not in moderation. So I feel like Chex Mix sitting on the counter, just waiting for you to munch at it, no moderation whatsoever. That's number 4. And oh no, that was number 3, right? Yeah, that was number 3. Okay. So number 4, I'm going with stuffing. It's bread and salt, and it's so not needed. You've already got mashed potatoes on your plate. You've already got a bun sitting there. Why are we shoving more bun inside the turkey? It's just salt and it's butter, and it's really not needed. And it's so funny because every year, like my mom tries to tweak her stuffing recipe, and I hate stuffing. I have never enjoyed it. And every single holiday, my mom will go, "What do you guys think about the stuffing?" And then she'll go, "Jayna, do you like it?" And then she'll realize I don't have any on my plate. And then she's like, "Why didn't you taste my stuffing?" And every year I have to tell her, "Mom, I don't like stuffing." I didn't know you didn't like stuffing. So anyways, that's a big note for me. Super unhealthy.
Moms are the best.
Added carbs that are just not needed. And lastly, for my number 5, my daughter's mashed potatoes. And specifically my daughter's. And if you're into having an unhealthy holiday, you can get out your pad and paper and I will share with you her recipe. It is 2 potatoes, okay? 2 potatoes in her mashed potato. a full block of butter minus the very end, because we're gonna save that to melt on top at the end, okay? Half a bag of shredded cheese and cream. So it's just shredded cheese. It's basically potatoes are just carrying all the fat and the dairy and the salt. So, but you still have a little bit of butter to melt on top. So I am saying number 5, my daughter's mashed potato. And you're welcome for the recipe,
The
by the way.
recipe.
You gave me permission to share it. But
Look at
Wow.
that bonus content.
I love it. I hope she's here with us right now.
she's probably down at the pool doing shots with my parents.
Jenn, who do you want to hear from next?
All right. Let's go logical genius. We're making our way around my screen.
All right, Jenn. Hi, how are you doing? First of all, thank you, Jayna, for bringing that big Lash energy list. Very, very energetic, unlike HLS, and it was a really good list. We can cross-examine in a bit, right? So, my list. You want to talk about culture and bringing the culture? I'm going to do just that for you, Jenn. So at number 5, this is something my brother makes.
We're just calling everybody out. Like,
yeah.
No one's gonna want to talk to you
he makes
after
it a
this.
certain way, right? I don't eat meat anymore. I don't eat red meat. I eat fish more than meat. I don't eat meat at all. But he makes this Christmas ham. And it's not ham. Ham already has like a lot of sodium and preservatives, which is really, really bad for you. But then he tops it with a honey glaze, brown sugar. If he's feeling a little, smart and cool, he'll wrap it in bacon, which is kind of weird because you have ham wrapped in bacon. So it's like stuffing an egg into a chicken, like just doesn't make sense. But it's high in calorie, high in nitrates, all that stuff. Just really, really bad stuff for you, right? That's number 5 for me.
Does he get it from the honey baked ham place, or he does it all himself?
No, he learned this recipe from a chef, actually, or a cook. He gets the ham separately, like the ham hock, whatever, and then he does everything else on top of it. But still,
okay,
brown sugar is lathered up all over that thing. It's just like, then he's like drenching the brown sugar juice right back on. I'm like, yeah, that's just not healthy. At number 4, I also have stuffing, right? Stuffing's usually made out of bread. There's butter in it. There's broth in it, which is high in sodium. Again, it's just stuffed inside a chicken. I don't know if you want to eat something that was inside a carcass, and like it's just weird. So at number 4 is stuffing. At number 3, shift gears a little bit. Holidays expand over different cultures and religion and people. I'm going to talk about something that's eaten during Hanukkah, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's sufganiyot. Right?
Yeah.
Sufganiyot, right? So it's not a donut because it's an upgraded donut, but it's an elevated donut. But it's a donut. It's deep fried. There's sugar in it. There's some sort of jelly in it that has sugar in it. And then you put sugar on top of it. So it's just sugar on top of sugar inside of sugar. Again, not the healthiest thing you want to eat. And another unofficial holiday, but it is a holiday, depending who you speak to. I have friends who are Jewish, and they celebrate Jewish Christmas, right? It's an official, unofficial holiday. And oftentimes, for Jewish Christmas, they'll go to the one thing that's open during Christmas, which is a Chinese restaurant. And the one thing that they typically order, some of my friends order, is egg rolls. Egg rolls are a fried dish. It's greasy. It's made of a very, very carby wrap, or like egg roll wrap or whatever. Refined flour, which isn't really good for you. So egg roll to me is number 2. And at number 1, I actually have eggnog. Eggnog is really, really bad. It's cream, it's sugar, and if you're feeling it for the adults, you throw in liquor in there and alcohol, and that's not really a good combination. So it's just a lot of just empty calories, right? That you're getting out of eggnog.
Solid list. You guys are making this very difficult.
Then,
So Juve, you got big shoes to beat here.
Yeah, and you and I have history, so
We do.
This is an opportunity here. And what I love about this show, it's all about different perspectives. So I want you to walk with me on this journey in my 5 cents of the 5 unhealthiest holiday foods.
I can't
wait. When we
wait.
say holiday, I want to talk about this one holiday, and that is 4th of July. And the food that I want to talk about is hot dogs. Highly processed. It's actually National Hot Dog Month in July. Then they have that horrible tournament over there in New York where they just gobble and they start dripping. Yes, Joey Chestnut in them be
Joey
dipping
Chestnut.
the hot dog in the water, be swallowing it, and it's just it's nasty. It's nasty. So at number 5, I'm coming in with the hot dog. At number 4, we're going Cinco de Mayo, and that is the margarita. The margarita is actually the second highest calorie intake alcoholic drink. Number 1 being the Long Island iced tea, speaking of New York. But yes, the margarita, which Jayna Marie might be participating in, I'm letting you know right now, not good for you, Jayna. Put the margarita down. At number 3, I struggled with this because at its core, it could be good for you, but it is the candied yams, especially the ones when you put the marshmallows on it. Oh man, you know how to turn something good into something not good for you real quick with the candied yams. And then people think like they're doing good. It's like a sneak attack, right? Oh, it's a sweet potato. It's good for you. But once you candy it and then put them marshmallows on it, it's a problem. At number 2, and I think this is what the beauty about this panel, because if we had HLS on, he wouldn't even have put it on the list. But eggnog, it has to be on everybody's list. Eggnog is just not good for you, and we have spoken about this piece. Now, at number 1, Jen, I need you to walk with me. We're about to go to the 5th level of understanding. It's New Year's. And what is the biggest thing people feed each other on New Year's? It is those rigid resolutions that reinforce the system. And my counterparts might be like, but that's not a food. But that's food for thought. So that is my 5 cents on the 5 unhealthiest holiday foods. What's going to happen is next week, we're going to get into a little bit of cross-examination where we poke a little holes at everybody's list. And Jen gets to make the decision on who's in 3rd place and who's in 1st. Until then, this is our 5 cents.